So I'm sitting here with Stephaine. Stephaine, thanks for meeting me.
No problem at all.
Stephaine, you were basically raised in the system from
12 to 18, yeah.
From the ages of 12 to 18, you were in foster care, was it? And then at 18 you found yourself basically just on the homeless
Well, it
list.
wasn't homeless straight at 18. I went into like a transition, like it's for Focus Ireland. It's like a supported house, like people that just come out of care, that's for a year. And then when I got into the rent accommodation about a year after, about 19, and after the lease was up, that's how I became homeless.
And you just found yourself, and can you talk a little about that? How was it for you?
First night, like the first time the landlord said she's not renewing the lease, I was kind of panicking because I had nowhere to go. Like I don't have a good relationship with my mother and like that, so I couldn't go to her. And basically I just knew I had nowhere to go, so I kind of, first night I became homeless was like, I think I stayed in like tourist hostel because I didn't want to go into the homeless hostel because I don't do drink or drugs or anything like that.
That's right. So that's why it's important to hear your voice, Stephaine. You were homeless and it wasn't through any fault of your own, it wasn't through drink or drugs. No. You were brought up in care and at 18 you were basically put out and you had to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
And you're doing great today, I believe.
Yeah, I have long-term housing and stuff, yeah.
So your message, how did you manage going from that homeless, desperate state at a young age, 18, 19, to getting your house?
I had an aftercare worker from Focus Ireland,
right,
and they put me in touch with like the housing officer from Focus Ireland, a youth like housing officer. So they got me to fill out some forms for some housing. We were waiting about 3 or 4 months. I was homeless for 8 or 9 months in total. But about 3 or 4 months, I was waiting about 2 or 3 months, just for the applications to see if there was anything coming up from Focus Ireland. And the bed came up. It was in South Circular Road. It was very cramped and everything, but it was much better than the hostels.
Was it lonely for a young woman living in a bedsit?
Yeah, it was, because everything was literally just cramped in. It's like living in one bedroom, do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even a kitchen. It was like a kitchenette, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it wasn't floor space or anything like that to walk around in. And the kitchen was literally next to the bed, you know what I mean? So, like I said, I wasn't complaining because it was a roof over my head, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was very cramped and stuff, and I did eventually want to be transferred, you know. And
what actually happened that you eventually got your own
I just
place?
kind of said that I just wasn't happy in the bedsit. I said like, I just wanted a bed, like a 1-bedroom room with separate rooms, and I went on the council list, the transfer list, the priority list, and they said I could go on it. Yeah. But I was told we were waiting maybe 2 years, 3 years for that.
Right.
And then Focus Ireland said that a 1-bedroom place came up, and like another Focus Ireland property came up. It was already in a Focus Ireland property, but I could get a transfer.
Right.
So they said to the council, can I get it transferred because I'm on the priority list? And they said, yeah, I could have the Focus Ireland transfer if I wanted to, like. Right.
So did you find the services were very helpful then in getting you sorted out?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I said I wasn't happy, you know what I mean, in the bedsit, they were around to like, obviously you have to wait 2 years for a transfer, to wait for a transfer, so I was there about 2 or 3 years, so before I could actually apply for one. So yeah, they were very helpful when I said I wasn't.
Was that very lonely for a young girl to be in this kind of transient housing while you were waiting for something more solid? And
yeah, it was.
Was it lonely?
It was very, you know,
how
it
did
was
you cope
very
so
small.
well and stay away from drugs and drink?
My mother's like has an alcoholic, so I just would never get into addiction. It just turned me off it, you know what I mean? Like when I was in the hostels and stuff like that, I was offered drugs and all, but I just said no.
Fair play to you, and it's very encouraging, and it's terrible to think that somebody that didn't have those addictive issues and at no fault of their own was left in such a perilous situation for so long.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, you know, it can happen to anyone really, you know, like anyone could just lose their home.
Absolutely.
Like even the person that like has a high job and all, just like, anything can happen.
A big shout out to Focus.
Yeah, definitely. Focus Ireland are really good. Like, yeah.
And those services that do help and provide and
yeah, they actually treat you like a person. They don't treat you like you're scum, do you know what I mean? They treat you like an actual person. And
so you should be, and so should everybody.
Yeah,
be.
100%, yeah.
And especially you, who was never at your own hands. You know, it wasn't your own hand that put you into this situation. And we have, as a civilised society, a responsibility to look after the vulnerable in our society, especially those that have been victimised by their situation. Yeah. As opposed to anything. Even those that hurt themselves, we have a duty to help them too. Oh yeah, if we are well,
100%. You know? Everyone's human at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. But what's your advice to young girls struggling, trying to get on housing in these times now?
See, it's hard because like it's the happen all, and even if like I tried before like that, just tried to get happen all, and it's just not a lot of people take hap, do you know what I mean? So it's just, all I can say is try and get in with like people that can help you, do you know what I mean?
The hap is the long-term solution the government has, well, for 10 years to give you a place.
But then again, I don't really trust the hap, to be honest with you, like, because they can just literally throw you out. Because that's what happened. That's how I became homeless, when that happened. Landlord just like, we're not renewing the lease. There's nothing they can do about it, you know.
I see, and I've heard that happen to quite a few people. I think the hap scam is terrible, and I call it a scam because I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's landlords getting a 10-year guaranteed top rent from the government, and they're not meeting all their landlord duties.
No, they're not. No,
I know. And it's really a one side. It's all in favour of the landlord. The tenant really hasn't many rights.
No, they don't. They're just somewhere to live. That's it. Indeed. All they would care is the rent. You know what I mean? And that's it. They don't care if you're going to become homeless or whatever. Like.
What did you end up with through the efforts of Focus Ireland? What's your living situation now? I'm
in a one-bedroom apartment,
okay,
very spacious, like separate bedroom, separate kitchen, separate sitting room, large sitting room, separate kitchen, separate bathroom and everything, you know.
Yes.
So it's a much better situation than like.
And have you any children?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, good.
So I feel now I can do up my place now. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed.
Like I'm getting my place painted tomorrow, so like in the best I couldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? It's just didn't have any interest in it because I just didn't want to be there long term, you know.
I understand, you know, and you're a sensible young woman and you deserve a chance like everybody.
Oh, thank you.
I wouldn't, in your case, I wouldn't even call it a second chance. I would say you deserve a chance. You haven't even had a chance as far as I'm concerned till now.
No.
And they've given you a lovely apartment.
Yeah, they have,
And this is a great chance for your life to be, and you've been great.
I'm so happy with the location as well, like it's literally in town, do you know what I mean?
It's wonderful. This is Dublin 8.
Yeah.
This is the Liberties, you know.
Yeah, that's what you need,
The best place in this is the best place in Dublin.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I dare say the world, but that's my opinion. I'm biased. But Stephanie, no, thank you very much for talking to me.
No worries.
It's what's inspiring about your story is your fortitude and your determination to get yourself into a nice living situation.
Oh yeah.
And it can be done. It's these
if you put your mind down to it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's these little poor girls that are with the addiction stops them from being.
Yeah, it is. You know, it is. It does make it harder. I would say it would make it a lot harder if you have an addiction. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of places won't take it. Or
for sure.
You know, it's but
for those that do get in, that there is hope. And it's basically all down to the services.
Yeah, even if they have addictions and all, they still deserve a home. They're still human.
100%.
You know, they're still a person. You know, but I just think no one should be homeless. You know, this day and age, everyone should have a roof over their head. You know, especially in a pandemic. I go into town and see people with tents and all. It's very sad, you know.
It sure is, and it's a very simple logic. You know, it doesn't take a great, deep, compassionate empath to understand that a man shouldn't be living in a tent.
No, he shouldn't be.
In these modern times.
Definitely not. No.
Absolutely. Stephanie, thank you so much.
No worries.
Okay, stay blessed, young lady, because you see it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.